home of the 2013 Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Fame induction ceremony. First for the visiting Cavaliers. Leading off, the third baseman, number 21, Danny DeKroger from Stanford. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 38, Mike Ford from Princeton. Batting third, the first baseman, number 25, Yale Rosen from Washington State. Batting fourth, the left fielder, number 8, Rhett Wiseman from Vanderbilt. Batting fifth, the shortstop, number 10, Drew Jackson from Stanford. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 1, Logan Rutledge from North Carolina State. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 15, Jake Fincher from North Carolina State. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 6, Hunter Cole from Georgia. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 7, Nolan Clark from Concordia. On the mound for the Cavaliers this evening is number 34, Ben Smith.
I am Ethan Gross, and this is Wareham Gaiman Baseball.
I'm Tino Lipson, and this is Wareham Gaiman Baseball.
Hi, I'm Adam Stone, this is Wareham Gaiman Baseball.
I'm Cooper Ferris, and this is Wareham Gaiman Baseball.
Newcomb's 3-2 hits the outside corner for strike 3.
Roney charging from third, goes to the backhand, hits the plate. The throw on the first, poke back the low scoop. He gone.
1-2 pitch, towed on the move, holds for second, slides in safe just ahead of the ball.
Called third strike, he gone. Counter that's big innings for the big right-hander.
2-1 pitch to Walsh, swinging a high fly ball deep to left, that will bang off the fence. Rounded third, headed for home is Lipson. He will score.
Butler in the short left center field. Brooks one makes the grab over the shoulder.
Chopper back to Huffman, throws home to Walsh, on to first. 1-2-3 double play.
And now introducing the starting lineup for your Wareham Gatemen. Leading off, the center fielder, number 11, Cole Sturgeon from Louisville. Batting second, the second baseman, number 13, Brett Pirtle from Mississippi State. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 10, Tino Lipson from Cal Davis. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 24, Trevor Podrak from Hawaii. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 15, Willie Schwanke from Arkansas. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 20, Chris Chinea from LSU. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 16, Sean McMullen from LSU. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 50, Ethan Gross from Memphis. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 3, Adam Toth from Baylor. And your starting pitcher for the Gatemen this evening is number 8, Trey Killian from Arkansas. Joining the Gatemen on the field for the national anthem this evening are the children from the Wareham Gatemen Instructional Baseball Clinic. They are accompanied on the field by Coach Manny Borges.
Leading off, it'll be the third baseman, Danny DeKroger. He's back. He's only played in 10 games. He was on the shelf for a bit. Mike Ford, the number 2 hitter, the designated hitter. Batting in the 3-hole, the first baseman, Yale Rosen. Rhett Wiseman, the left fielder from Vanderbilt, bats cleanup. In the 5 spot, the shortstop from Stanford, Drew Jackson, batting 6th. from NC State at second base, Logan Ratledge. Batting 7th, the right fielder from NC State, Jake Fincher. Hunter Cole, the center fielder, bats 8th. He's from Georgia. Batting 9th, Nolan Clark. He'll be the catcher. He's from Concordia, an NAIA school. And on the mound, the Coastal Carolina left-hander, Ben Smith.
All right, we will get you the Wareham starting lineup in just a moment, but let's send you inside Spillane Field for tonight's national anthem.
Friends, but he's pissed off at Carl where he's at. And he says he's going to talk to Rick about it.
Can you
And as far as Andy's concerned, when I've written up 5 of those
by
guys,
the
and he's been very happy I did.
dawn's
Simple reason being is you've never done the tape, but you've done enough coverages.
what so
Some
proudly
days you're going to have to make a choice of which team to go to. And if you see the starting pitcher,
at
it's
the
just
twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I am Ethan Gross, and this is Wareham Gateman Baseball.
I'm Tino Lipson, and this is Wareham Gateman Baseball.
Hi, I'm Adam Toth, and this is Wareham Gateman Baseball.
I'm Cooper Ferris, and this is Wareham Gateman Baseball.
Newcomb's 3-2 hits the outside corner for strike 3.
Roney charging from third, goes to the backhand, makes the play. The throw on to first, home draft the low scoop. He got him.
Andrew Minnie's 1-2 pitch. Toth on the move, bolts for second, slides in, safe just ahead of the bag.
Called third strike, he got him. Count him, that's 8 Ks for the big right-hander.
2-1 pitch to Wall, swinging a high fly ball deep to left. That will bang off the fence. Rounding third, headed for home is Lipson. He will score.
Little flare into short, left center field. Gross runs back, he makes the grab over the shoulder.
Chopper back to Huffman, throws home to Walsh, on to first. 1-2-3 double play.
And here's your broadcast team, Mike Monaco and Austin Pollock.
Live from Spillane Field, this is Wareham Gateman Baseball. Thanks for joining us for tonight's matchup between the 5-20 Gatemen and the 16-10 Cotuit Kettleers. Alongside Austin Pollock, I'm Mike Monaco as we get set to bring you tonight's action between these Western Division foes on a hot, sticky night on the gateway to the Cape. The Gatemen were rained out last night in Bourne, so they get back at it tonight after falling 2-1 to YD on Friday night in 10 innings. Cotuit did get its game in last night and cruised to a 5-0 victory over Hyannis behind the stellar performance of Mike Ford at the plate. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 4 for 4, and he continues to rake. Wareham and Cotuit squared off on Tuesday night at Lowell Park, and the Kettleers won 2-1 as the Gatemen could not muster enough offense to support a tremendous 8-inning performance by starter Andro Chitora. And Austin, as I now bring you in, I mean, let's talk about that, because on Tuesday night it was a 2-1 game. You get the great start from your starting pitcher, but the same story was there. The offense couldn't get it done. What do you expect to see tonight? Do you think the offense can break out tonight? Because that's been the story the whole year.
I really don't know. You got to just figure it out on a day-by-day basis, and you can't really. You never really know. You always have to. I think you always have to look at the first inning, and once Wareham scores runs, if they do, that's when you'll know. You have to also know how the pitcher is pitching. In that case, Trey Killian Knight. If he has his stuff, will he be in line for a win? That's all depends on the offense.
It's Trey Killian on the mound for the Gatemen. We're a few moments away from first pitch, so let's get you the Wareham defensive lineup. Left to right, it'll be Toth, Sturgeon, and McMullen. Adam, Cole, and Sean is your outfield. And then around the diamond, Willie Schwanke, the third baseman, Ethan Gross at shortstop, Brett Pirtle is the second baseman, and Trevor Podrat's at first. Behind the plate, it's Chris Chinea doing the catching for Killian, who will head out to the mound. Second start he gets against Cotuit. And the lineup that Mike Roberts has penciled in for the Kettleers.
It'll be Danny DeKroger at third base, Mike Ford batting second, the designated hitter, Yale Rosen at first base batting third, Rhett Wiseman in the cleanup spot. He's in left field. Drew Jackson bats fifth. He's at short. Logan Ratledge bats sixth. He's at second base. In right field batting seventh, it's Jake Fincher. Batting eighth in center field is Hunter Cole. And batting ninth, the catcher, Nolan Clark.
Cotuit at 16-10 in the Western Division. That's third place. Hyannis at 15-8, then Falmouth at 15-9. Wareham at 5-20. So a big Western Division matchup. If Wareham wants to move up the standings in the division, it starts with beating up on those Western Division opponents, and Wareham against the West so far 2-11. Killian gets the ball. He will face Danny DeKroger, the third baseman from Stanford. Left-handed batter. Here's the first pitch of the night. Fastball outside, and we are underway here at Spillane Field.
6:02 first pitch. I don't even know how hot it is out there.
Killian rocks and deals. And misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. Killian has made 3 starts coming in, 18 2/3 innings, a 4.33 ERA, but just 1 run earned in his last 10 innings. The cutter is in there for strike 1. Killian started against the Kettleers on the 25th of June through 2 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. The 2-1. Out to left field. That'll get down. Toth was on the move backward. So that falls for a leadoff single the opposite way by Danny DeKroger.
Well, that's how you want to get things started if you're Cotuit, and that's exactly what happened. And now Trey Killian's got to be very careful with the man stepping to the plate.
It's Mike Ford, who had quite the day yesterday. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 4 for 4 against Hyannis. Kettleers only won 5-0. It was all Ford. He basically beat Hyannis.
He did.
420 batting average, leads the Cape League, as does his .510 on-base percentage. He has 34 hits. Left-handed batter from Princeton. First pitch on the way from Killian. It's pumped in for strike 1.
Well, temperature showing 82 degrees here in Wareham, but the real feel at 91.
It is hot out there. The sun shining down. There's a shadow, but it's all in foul territory on the Wareham side of things. A check on DeKroger. Mike Ford second, also in the league in runs scored at 21. And also second in the league with those 34 hits. Two-way player from Princeton. First player in Ivy League history to be named the player of the year and the pitcher of the year. Another check on DeKroger. He's back.
Ford has a 3-game hitting streak, and during that streak, he is 10 for 11. Just to show you again how nasty he is.
DeKroger at first has a stolen base on the season. It doesn't matter. That's laced into left center field. Mike Ford continues to smoke the ball. Back-to-back singles to start things for the Kettleers.
Well, this isn't these 2 hits against Trey Killian. That's not something to be very concerned about. These are 2 very good hitters atop the Cotuit lineup.
First 2 men on for Cotuit. Yale Rosen steps to the plate. Left-handed batter. He's tonight's first baseman from Washington State. Batting .241 in 23 games. Yesterday against the Harbor Hawks, he was 1 for 4 with a strikeout, and he also stole 2 bases. Killian from the stretch has a look at DeKroger. Checks him again and fires home. Fouled off, tapped to the right side. Yale Rosen from Oak Harbor, Washington, and he will be a junior for Washington State coming up next season. Batted .314 there this past year.
Came a long way to play baseball.
Coast to coast. The 0-1. To the right side of the infield. That'll get through into right field. Rounding third, heading for home is DeKroger. The throw from McMullen is cut off by Podratz. Ford scampers up to third base, and Katuitt has an early one-run lead. 3 straight singles to start this game.
Yeah, well, those 3 straight singles, now it hurts because you'd think maybe making contact isn't so much a problem, but if they're hitting the ball exactly in the gaps, not even close to a defender, and that's the biggest problem right now. Got to keep the balls either on the ground or got to find a way to get them to just pop out or fly out, anything like that.
It's a 4th straight left-handed hitter coming to the plate now in the cleanup man, Rhett Wiseman, the left fielder from Vanderbilt. The first 3, 2 of them went to the left side, and then Rosen right there pulls it to the right side against Killian, spraying the ball in the early goings. Wiseman comes in hitting at .240 through 23 games. Chinea sets up outside. Here's the first pitch. Comes inside, fouled straight back toward us. 0-1 the count on Wiseman from Mansfield, Massachusetts. Attended Buckingham, Brown, and Nichols. Played in 54 games as a freshman for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Batted .289. The 0-1 home. Misses low for ball 1. Killian really hasn't run into much trouble on the mound since the last time he faced Katuitt on June 25th, right here. He deals the 1-1. Nails the inside edge for strike 2. On Tuesday against Wareham, Rhett Wiseman was 0 for 3 and 1 strikeout. Killian looks in. And here comes the 1-2. Laced down out toward right field. That'll get down and run all the way toward the fence. Ford comes in to score. Rosen rounding third. He too will come in to score. It's a 2-run triple for Rhett Wiseman. Katuitt has an early 3-0 lead.
Yeah, well, Killian is really running into some trouble now. I mean, a 3-0 lead already, no outs, 4 straight base runners as Terry Thompson will head on out and chat with Chinea and Trey Killian.
Rough start for the Arkansas right-hander. 4 straight batters reached to start this ball game. 6 minutes into the game, it's already 3-0 in favor of the Kettleers.
Yeah, they waste no time.
When Killian had his tough start against Katuitt on that 25th of June, his first inning went fine. Leadoff man reached, but he was then caught stealing. Then Killian had a strikeout and a ground out. Only faced 3 batters in the first inning. Gave up 2 runs on 2 hits in the second inning. And 3 runs on 3 hits in the third, and actually left the bases loaded in that frame. The damage coming a little bit earlier tonight. So with a man at third in Wiseman after the 2-run triple, it's Drew Jackson's turn, the shortstop from Stanford, hitting at .257. He was 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts yesterday against Hyannis. The infield playing in just a bit for Wareham. First pitch from Killian, strike 1. Jackson played against the Gatemen on Tuesday, 1 for 3, had a double and scored a run in that ball game. Brother Brett plays for the Chicago Cubs organization. Ground ball, that'll get through into the outfield. Ethan Gross was in. Wiseman scores from third, 4-0 Kettleers.
That was a very wide turnover there at first by Jackson, but yeah, as you say, 4-0 Kettleers. This is turning ugly very, very quickly.
We know Wareham struggles to score. Getting behind early is very difficult. We've talked to a bunch of the different starting pitchers on this team, and you know they love pitching with a lead when they have it. And certainly the offense tough to come back from when you're already down 4-0. Haven't come to bat yet. Logan Ratledge, the second baseman, takes strike 1 on the inner half.
Well, last time we saw Killian, the biggest problem for him was no command of his fastball. That's not what we're seeing tonight. We're just seeing bad pitch location.
And the Katuitt hitters certainly making him pay. The 0-1 to Ratledge, swung on and fouled over by the Gateman dugout. Ratledge hitting at .231. He was 1 for 4 against Wareham on Tuesday. He had a double, and it's been his only hit in a 6-game stretch in which he's 1 for 20. And manager Mike Roberts of Katuitt was telling him just to relax at the plate earlier in batting practice. The runner is off. Pitch swung on, popped up to the right side. Podrat's going back. He's under it in foul territory, puts it away for out number 1. Jackson back to first base, and Trey Killian finally gets that first out.
Well, he needed that out. I mean, it comes late. I mean, he's already down 4-0. Dug himself in a bit of a hole.
Jake Fincher, the number 7 hitter, coming to the plate for the Kettleers. Another NC State product. He's the right fielder tonight, hitting at .304. He was 1 for 4 yesterday against Hyannis. Right-handed batter with an open stance. Awaits the pitch. Here it is. Fastball in there for strike 1. Fincher was a high school teammate of NC State catcher Brett Austin, who is with Harwich this summer, back for his second summer. Check over there on Jackson. He's back. In some Gateman alumni news, Brandon Workman worked into the 7th inning in his first major league start and had a no-hitter. He just lost it on a leadoff single by Coco Crisp. Pitch out is on. It's ball 1. Jackson doesn't move, but Brandon Workman in that opening start goes 6 scoreless and then gives it up in the 7th. What a great moment that must have been for him.
Oh, it really was. And I mean, he didn't pitch well in, I think it was an inning of relief recently, just a couple days ago against the Mariners. Not the Harwich Mariners. That would be the Seattle Mariners. He got roughed up. I think he gave up 2 home runs. I know he gave up 1.
He was an all-star back here on the Cape. The 1-1 pitch, just a bit inside, a little high to Fincher. 2 balls and a strike.
Speaking of all-star, the Cape Cod all-star game is coming up soon.
Coming up very soon, 27th of July.
It would have been 2 weeks from yesterday.
The 2-1 from Killian, breaking ball just misses, doesn't like the call. 3-1 count.
Well, Trey Killian's going to have to stay very calm. Can't get too frustrated because there's already a runner on and 4 runs in. This can get worse very quickly.
The 3-1 in there as Killian locates it well, running the count full to Fincher. Katuitt, a team that's very aggressive at the plate. But Fincher here working the count. Really the first time we've seen a Katuitt hitter do that tonight. The 3-2 runner off. Strike 3 called. The throw down from Chinea is not in time. Jackson swipes second as Fincher goes down looking for the second out of the inning.
Well, that's the first strikeout for Trey Killian, but right now he's been struggling.
The 8th man to come to the plate this inning is Hunter Cole. He climbs into the box, sporting a .257 average. Was 2 for 4 yesterday. Also had a pair of strikeouts. He does strike out a lot, 27 times. That leads the Kettleer squad. First pitch of the at-bat. Inside, just a hair off the edge, so it's ball 1. Cole is from Moore, South Carolina, will be a junior next season at Georgia. Drafted by the Nationals coming out of high school. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a big cut. He fans at that one for strike 1. The umpires tonight, behind the plate, Alex Scandalis. Federico De Jesus is at first, and John Umbro is your third base umpire. 1-1 the count on Cole, 2 outs. Killian tries to get out of it. Swinging another big miss. Killian climbed the ladder there. Cole tried to match him, but it's 1-2.
Did you say Scandalis?
Alex Scandalis, the umpire at home, behind the plate.
Oh, I thought it was a different pronunciation.
That's how I've heard it so far. Could be wrong.
We'll go with that.
1-2 count. Killian checks. Second, here's the pitch. Popped up right side. That's tailing foul. McMullen on the run, still on the run, makes the grab. and runs into the fence. Nice catch in foul territory by Sean McMullen, the right fielder, to put away the Kettleers in the top of the first inning. The Kettleers do get 4 runs off of Trey Killian, and Wareham will be coming to bat for the first time when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Wareham coming to bat for the first time tonight. They will face Ben Smith, the left-hander from Coastal Carolina. He started on June 25th. He was the opposing pitcher to Trey Killian that night. Worked 6 innings in the ball game and had 8 strikeouts, gave up just 1 earned run. He was very solid in that game. He faces Cole Sturgeon. That one up right near Sturgeon's head, goes all the way to the backstop. The lineup for Wareham: Sturgeon, Pirtle, Lipson, Podratz, Schwanke in the 5-hole, and Chinea, McMullen, Gross, and Toth to round things out. The 1-0 pitch misses too far inside. Ben Smith, 6'2", 175 pounds, from Wichita Falls, Texas. Just finished his sophomore season at Coastal Carolina. Had a 2.23 ERA there. The 2-0. Outside edge for strike 1. Making his 6th start of the summer. 22 innings thus far, 9 earned runs. Strikeout man, he has 26 punch-outs coming into his sixth start tonight. Popped up to the left side by Sturgeon. The shortstop, Drew Jackson, ranges over and makes it right on the opening cut of the outfield grass for out number 1. 1 away, that'll bring up Brett Pirtle. Switch hitter batting from the right side. Earlier in batting practice, he was actually considering batting left-handed tonight against Smith, but he has chosen to go from the right side thus far.
You'll see that sometimes. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just feel more comfortable on that side of the plate. I don't know.
He takes a tailing fastball for strike 1. Pirtle, through 8 games, has 8 hits, driven in 4 runs for the Gatemen. The 0-1. Strike 2, grooved in there by Smith. The left-hander throws a fastball, curveball, and a changeup, and can get a lot of strikeouts, especially if he has his command working. He had 8 against Wareham earlier. 0-2 pitch is bounced in there for ball 1. 4-run first inning for Cotuit. Wareham trying to counter. The 1-2 pitch home. Pirtle just flicks his hands out there, has a single that bloops into right center field. A 1-out base knock for the second baseman, and the Gatemen have a runner aboard.
Well, that's good right there. I mean, if any way you can just get a hit right now, anything you get, whether it's a hit, walk, any base run right now is good. And the man stepping in the plate, and Tino Lipson, he's hitting every game he's played in.
12 games, 17 hits, and a 12-game hitting streak. He's hitting at .362. Left-handed batter from UC Davis. Here's the first pitch. Nails the outside corner for strike 1.
Now we talk about how he has a hit in every game that he's played in. His last 3 games, he has a hit, but he's 3 for 12. Doesn't really, he'll get that hit early on, but after that, just kind of goes quiet.
He's 7 for 21 in 5 games since coming back from a hamstring injury. He missed a little over 12 games due to that, but has been back and been plugged right into the lineup. First game he batted in the 8-hole. Since then, he's been the number 3 hitter for the Gatemen. Smith has a look at Pirtle, the 0-1. Breaking ball nails the outside corner for strike 2.
Well, it's been a week since he came back, so I think we may, I guess maybe tomorrow against Falmouth or Tuesday against Brewster, start to see him maybe make his way back into the field.
1 out. Here's the 0-2 offering. Misses too far, low and away for ball 1.
Now that's just a maybe.
Almost a full week under his belt. And yeah, I think we will start to see him come back into the field. The outfield, though, has been steady, so there's not a pressing need for it yet. The 1-2 pitch, Pirtle is off. Swing and a miss by Lipson. Pirtle moves up to second. No throw from the catcher, Clark, but it's the second out of the inning as Lipson goes down swinging.
Not something you'll see Tino Lipson do very much, and that is strike out. Not very much.
Just his 6th K of the summer. Trevor Podratz now, the cleanup man, comes to the plate. Tonight's first baseman. He's hitting at .239, has played in 24 games. 2 home runs for him on the summer. Both have been against Cotuit.
1 here, 1 at Lowell Park.
First pitch, nails the outside edge for strike 1.
I may be wrong, but I think that first home run for Podratz did come against Ben Smith.
I was just going to say that. It was against Ben Smith right here on the 25th. Home run to left field, gave that one a good ride into the bleachers. The 0-1, Pirtle off again. The throw is low. Pirtle slides in safely, his second stolen bag of the inning. Man at third now for Trevor Podratz.
I think he hit that home run while Dan Dias was in my seat, being interviewed about his grilled cheese talents.
That he was. Pirtle moves up to third, his first 2 stolen bases of the summer. Podratz trying to get him home as the Gatemen try to claw back an early 4-run deficit. The pitch on the way. High pop-up into center field. Cole moving well to his left, and he snares it for the 3rd out of the inning. A single from Brett Pirtle, 2 stolen bases, but he gets stranded at third. Ben Smith has a scoreless first inning on the bump after 1 full at Spillane Field to score. Cotuit 4, Wareham 0 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Second inning on the way at Spillane Field. Thanks for joining us on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. With Austin Pollock, I'm Mike Monaco. The number 9 man, Nolan Clark, will lead it off for the Kettleers. 8 Cotuit batters came to the plate in the first inning against Trey Killian, as Cotuit got 4 runs on 5 hits. The right-hander fires his first pitch of the second, almost hits the feet of Clark. It's low for ball 1. Nolan Clark hitting at 194. As he fouls that one off to the right side. He did have 2 hits yesterday against Hyannis, scored 2 runs, and also was issued a walk. Against the Gatemen on Tuesday, Clark 0 for 2 in that ball game. The 1-1 on the way. Breaking ball, Killian, great location for strike 2. Killian trying to put behind that rough first frame. Here's the 1-2 offering. Nails the outside corner for strike 3. Second strikeout of the night for Trey Killian, and there's 1 away to start the second.
Well, I mean, if he can settle down from here and maybe some hope that the offense can get something going, those 4 runs can turn out to maybe not be so bad.
That's the hope for Wareham. Can the offense get going? Danny DeKroger, the leadoff man, goes first pitch swinging, fouls it off to the left side. Schwanke and Gross giving chase. And they run out of time to grab that one. It did stay in play. It'll just be strike 1. DeKroger playing in his 11th game. He was out for a while due to an injury, but he's back into the lineup. Was 1 for 5 yesterday against Hyannis. Scored a run. Played against Wareham only in the first matchup, then missed the next 3. But in that first game, 1 for 3 with a double. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Killian misses low for ball 1. DeKroger was a late season pickup by YD last year and helped in the Red Sox as they made their finals run against the Gatemen. Batted .306 down the stretch. The 1-1, he thought about it, didn't even swing, and it didn't matter. It's strike 2 called.
To it wearing these maroon road jerseys, and it looks exactly like the Wareham road jerseys.
1-2, Killian, another strikeout.
Back-to-back looking.
Back-to-back Ks. He nails the outside corner, 2 away to start the second.
All 3 of his strikeouts have been looking, so he's fooling these hitters. He just hasn't really fooled the ones who have done damage.
Mike Ford, a very dangerous man coming to the plate. Came in maybe the hottest hitter in the Cape League. Kept that rolling with a single to left field in the first. He scored 1 of the 4 Cotuit runs. Killian fires home the first pitch, bounces it in. Mike Ford expected to sign with a major league organization shortly. The thinking is he will not finish out the summer. Here comes the 1-0. Grounder to Pirtle at second. He throws over to Podratz, and that does it. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Trey Killian. He needed that one as he bounces back after the 4-run first. And it'll be now Wareham coming to bat in the bottom of the second to see if the offense can get going against Ben Smith. We'll be right back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Gatemen in the bottom of the second. Cotuit leads 4-0 at Spillane Field. Thanks for joining us for some Sunday night baseball. 6 o'clock start time with the Sunday game.
Autograph night here at Spillane.
Good crowd on hand to witness this one. Nice night for baseball. A little hot, but that'll get better as the night goes on. First pitch, swing and a miss. Schwanke goes over that for strike one. Ben Smith had a solid first inning, gave up the single to Pirtle, but left him stranded at third. The 0-1. Breaking ball for strike two. Smith has shown the ability to be around the strike zone, really. Pitched very well against Wareham the first time. Starting the night doing just the same as he bounces in ball one. Only one walk in his first start against the Gatemen. 7 walks on the summer, 22 innings coming in. Facing Willie Schwanke, the left-handed batter, lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Schwanke waves at the off-speed pitch outside, and it's a strikeout to start the second inning, second K of the night for Smith. That'll bring up Chris Chinea, the LSU catcher. 7 for 32 in 11 games so far this summer. First pitch on the way. Fouled off to the right side. Last time against Cotuit, Chinea was 2 for 4. His only multi-hit game this summer. He's riding a 5-game hitting streak. He's 6 for his last 18. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike two. It was a 15-pitch first inning for Smith. Trying to keep cruising in the second. Here comes the 0-2. Strike three called. Chinea was only looking at that one. It's back-to-back punch-outs to start it for Ben Smith.
Ben Smith has been great so far tonight. Trey Killian had a much better second inning.
Smith living up to the expectation of him being a strikeout guy. He had 83 Ks in 92 2/3 this past season at Coastal Carolina. Just misses to start the at-bat to Sean McMullen, the right fielder from LSU. He's played in 11 games, hitting 8 for 40. The 1-0. Inside with a strike from Smith. Evens it up at 1-1. McMullen did not play against Cotuit on Tuesday at Lowell Park. But the last matchup between these teams, McMullen, it was his first game of the summer, and he went 2 for 4. Still trying to find his way a little bit in this Gateman lineup. He's 5'9", 185 pounds, a Louisiana native. Smith rocks and fires the 2-1. Fouled straight back near us.
I think something just fell off. Yeah, one of these little twist tie thingies. Whatever you call them.
Better than hitting one of us.
That is true.
The 2-2 pitch on the way, it misses high. Count runs full to McMullen. 2 outs here, bottom of the second. Cotuit leads 4-0. The left-hander looks in. He's ready. Here it is. He misses high. McMullen draws the 2-out walk and scampers down to first base. Up comes the 8-hitter in the order, Ethan Gross, the shortstop from Memphis, hitting at .239. He's played in all 25 games. He was 1 for 4 on Friday night against YD. 0 for 4 last time against the Kettleers. McMullen at first And here's the pitch from Smith. Clark drops it. It was a ball. He found it quickly. McMullen did not go anywhere. Wareham does not run a whole lot as a team. McMullen 1 for 1 this summer on stolen base attempts. Wareham has just 17 steals coming in. Pirtle had 2 in the first inning. The 1-0. Strike one on the outside part of the plate.
Ben Smith from Wichita Falls, Texas. Just about 2 hours and 20 minutes from Oklahoma City, 2 hours from Fort Worth. Fort Worth, pretty close to the Dallas area.
He will check over on McMullen, who's back. One the count on Gross. Smith holds the ball, now brings it to the mitt, comes set, checks over and deals home. Out to left center field, the left fielder Wiseman giving chase, and he's on the move, makes the grab for out number 3. 2 quick outs, then Ben Smith walks McMullen, but leaves him over at first base as he works through the second inning, keeping Wareham at bay. The score after 2 full is 4-0 in favor of Cotuit on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Trey Killian back out there for his third inning of work. He will face Yale Rosen, Rhett Wiseman, and Drew Jackson here in the top of the third inning. 4-0 Kettleers.
Killian threw 27 pitches in the first inning and then really responded in that second inning, only needed 10.
First pitch to Rosen, first pitch swing, high pop-up on the infield at third. Schwanke calls for it, comes in a little bit, and makes the catch for out number 1. I'll bring up Rhett Wiseman, tripled and scored back in the first inning.
A guy that has good speed, is really aggressive on the base paths. We've seen this summer, and he just hit that one. It wasn't, to the deep right center field gap. It was down the right field line, which in the corner, that gives him time to get to third, but that's not too deep. He just has such good speed out of the box and good aggressiveness.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, he didn't crush it. He just kind of slapped it. First pitch swing into right center, moving over his Sturgeon and headed back. He will make the catch running, and he had to go a long way for that one, back and to his left. But he makes the catch for out number 2.
Good play there by Sturgeon. He has very good instincts, reading balls off of the bat, and then with that type of speed, he can track down pretty much anything in center.
That was right in that gap, that right center field gap. Had that ball not have been hit as high as it was, had it been, I guess, a liner, that would have got in, and that could have been extra bases. And here is Drew Jackson. First pitch too far inside, 1-0. Jackson singled and stole a base back in the first inning. Pitch too low, 2-0. Right fielder McMullen is playing a little bit shallow, as is Sturgeon. Pitch from Killian. Popped up. Again on the infield at shortstop, just right on the outfield grass. Takes it with no problem. A 1-2-3 inning for Trey Killian. Still 4-0 Kettleers on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Let's send it down to Hillary Bushway.
Hey guys, a little fun fact. We have Brandon Workman right now playing for the Red Sox. He was a Wareham Gateman in 08 and 09, and he's worked through 6 innings with no hits. Now he's let that up now, but what an impressive first start for Brandon. Back to you.
Thank you, Hillary. It was a great start for Brandon Workman. We'll be right back on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Five-pitch inning for Trey Killian. Ben Smith is out there for inning number 3 of work. He will face 9-1-2 Adam Toth, Cole Sturgeon, and Brett Pirtle.
Wareham really needs to get something going. They had the walk last inning, the single in the first, but the bats really need to start stirring against Smith. They have that 4-run deficit to chip into.
First pitch from Smith on the outside corner for strike 1. Pretty big gap out in right center field. Here comes the 0-1 from Smith. Low and away, 1-1. Cole Sturgeon waits on deck. Here's the 1-1 from Smith. Slaps foul right to the screen over by us. 1-2.
4 runs on 5 hits for Cotuit. They started the game. First 5 batters all got hits. Since that point, Trey Killian has set down the next 9 batters.
1-2 from Smith. Checking his swing, called strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Ben Smith. There's one away here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Man, he looks really good. He's spotted up pretty much all of his pitches really well. He hasn't thrown the curveball a whole lot, but even that has had great location, the changeup, and then the fastball command. It's all there tonight for Smith.
He's been dynamite. Here's Cole Sturgeon. Popped out to short in the 1st inning. Shows bunt, drops it down. That's going to go all the way to first. Rosen looks like he may have bobbled it, but Sturgeon will reach. A good bunt. It was hit far. I mean, it was hit where Rosen could take it by himself. But Sturgeon was just absolutely flying down that first base line.
I don't think Rosen realized how fast Sturgeon was getting down the line. He picked it up nonchalantly, and next thing he knew, he looked up and Sturgeon was running across the base. I don't think he even knew it.
That's just the 2nd hit of the night for the Gateman. Here is Brett Pirtle. He has the other one. He singled and stole 2nd and 3rd back in the 1st inning.
And based on those 2 steals, I wonder if they'll be more aggressive with Sturgeon. He's 4 for 4 this summer. But, you know, for his speed, I don't think the attempts have really been there. I think, you know, if Cooper Ferris really wants to start pushing things and forcing the issue offensively, maybe give him the green light on the base paths.
Outfield straightaway, center fielder Cole playing shallow. Here's the first pitch to Pirtle. Outside corner for strike 1, 0-1.
It's the first time Pirtle has faced a left-handed starter since he's been here. We've seen him face in a few at-bats against left-handed pitchers, but it's really been mostly left-handed hitting for him.
Smith will check on Sturgeon over at first. There's something I was thinking about on the way in today. Wareham will not visit Lowell Park again this season. In all 3 games, Chris Ellis started. In the now 2 games between Cotuit and Wareham here at Spillane Field, it's been Ben Smith.
Well, and they also keep the relief pitchers the same. We'll see Patrick Corbett later on tonight in relief of Ben Smith. And we know that because Mike Roberts, not only does he always do that, but on the lineup card, he actually lists both pitchers there.
Oh-2 pitch. Line into left field. A base hit just in the gap between the 3rd baseman and the shortstop. So back-to-back hits. Sturgeon moves up to 2nd base.
Good hitting there with 2 strikes. He didn't try to do too much, just got a pitch and went where it was on the inner half, pulled it into the hole behind the shortstop, and 1st and 2nd, 1 out. You've got 3, 4, 5 coming up. Wareham can really capitalize on this situation.
So that'll bring up the number 3 man, Tino Lipson. Struck out in the 1st inning. 1 out, runners on 1st and 2nd. Sturgeon got on with a bunt single. Pitch too far outside, 1-0. Comes the 1-0 from Smith. Slapped opposite field. That will go foul. Giving chase was Wiseman. The scoreboard here at Spillane Field actually says the count is 1-2. It is now 1-1.
Dan Dias promptly changes that.
One was about to come from Smith, but he's keeping a very close eye on Sturgeon over at 2nd base.
Press box getting a little chippy up here.
It's hot. We're all hot up here. There's no air conditioning. Runners are off. Pitch. to third, and they will call Sturgeon out at third. They went with the double steal, but a good throw from Nolan Clark, the catcher, in time, just before the slide of Cole Sturgeon.
Well, I was saying, I think they might try to give him the green light a little bit more, and Sturgeon gets nailed at third base. That was a really terrific throw by Clark.
So now 2 outs with Pirtle at second base. Pitch to Lipson in the dirt, stopped by Clark. Thought about throwing a third, but no movement at second by Pirtle.
He actually lost his mitt on that play.
Might want to put some pine tar in his glove or something. I don't know. Can you do that?
Some stickum.
3-1 the count on Lipson. Smith, another look at second. Here he comes. Too high, ball 4. So back to runners at first and second. Pirtle on second, now Lipson on first. Here's Trevor Podratz. Popped out to center field his last time. That was in the first inning. The first baseman from Hawaii. We were talking back in the first inning about Yale Rosen from Washington. Now coast to coast, and now we see, what about Trevor Podratz? Comes all the way from Hawaii, and he makes his home in California as the trainer. And Mike Roberts will come out and check on Ben Smith, looking at his finger. Could be some sort of a blister. Four nothing Katuitt here in the bottom of the third, and Ben Smith will exit the ball game. We might see Patrick Corbett when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. New pitcher for the Kettleers is Patrick Corbett. Looks like Ben Smith left with some sort of an injury. Patrick Corbett, also from Coastal Carolina. He's 2-0 with an ERA of .73. He's got a save, 12 and a third innings, pitched 10 hits, just 1 earned run, 5 walks, and 12 strikeouts. He will face Trevor Podratz. Runner on second is Brett Pirtle. Lipson on first. 2 away, 4-0 Katuitt. First pitch is in there, called strike to Podratz.
Nice looking breaking ball to start it off from Corbett. He pitched last time out on Monday against Harwich. 4 innings, 2 hits, a walk, a run, and 4 strikeouts for the 6'5" right-hander.
6'5", 185 pounds for Corbett. 0-1 to Podratz. Swing and a miss. Ball's actually dropped by Clark. 0-2 with 2 outs.
We saw Corbett come on in relief of Ben Smith. Last time Smith started against the Gatemen, Corbett worked 3 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, no runs, and had a pair of strikeouts.
Willie Schwanke waits on deck. Here comes Corbett's 0-2 to Podratz. Lace down the left field line. It will be foul.
Podratz read that well. He was a little bit out in front, but I think he was ready for that breaking ball and just hooked it too much.
Center fielder Hunter Cole a little bit shallow. 0-2 to Podratz. Way outside. Looks like Corbett lost his balance there. Second baseman Logan Ratledge is holding Pirtle on at second base.
It's a big spot for Podratz. Wareham really needs something. You at the top of the lineup, get things started. 3 guys have reached. 1 guy caught stealing, but still got to make something out of this.
Force at any base. 1-2. Too far outside. 2-2.
Podratz leads the Gatemen with 8 RBIs, hitting at .239. He has 21 hits this summer. He's been really a steady bat for them, batting in that 3 spot or the 4 spot.
He's been the only guy who hasn't really gone into a slump and then hasn't really gotten hot, just kind of staying at the same spot. 2-2 from Corbett. Called strike 3. Pitch was on the outside corner. Podrats disagrees, does not like the call. Corbett comes in, shuts the door. Still 4-0 Cavaliers on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network through 4 at Spillane Field. Patrick Corbett came in after Ben Smith left with an apparent injury and shut the door against Trevor Podrats. Trey Killian is out there again for his 4th inning of work. 4-0 Cavaliers here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network at Spillane Field. It'll be Logan Ratledge to lead her off. 6, 7, 8. Jake Fincher and Hunter Cole to follow.
That was a long wait for Trey Killian in the bottom of the 3rd inning between the injury, and then it took a long time for Corbett to warm up, and Wareham had some base runners. We'll see how he responds.
First pitch over the outside corner, a good pitch, 0-1.
Because since he's faced those first 5 batters who all had hits and reached base to start the game, he set down 9 in a row and has only needed 15 pitches in the past 2 innings.
Pitch, swing and a miss, 0-2. Looks like Ratledge took his head right out of the swing.
Really fooled by the changeup there from Killian.
Pretty nice crowd here at Spillane Field. Got a lot of fans in those left field bleachers tonight. 0-2. Popped up on the infield. It'll move to the outfield. In shallow right, it'll be Pirtle making the catch over the shoulder for out number 1. I'll bring up Jake Fincher. He struck out looking in the first. He was the first strikeout of the night for Trey Killian. See another one of our friends, Derek Drinkwater, walking around down there. He is very sweaty. Breaking ball in there, a called strike.
Aren't we all today? It's a hot one here. Shadows creeping out onto the field.
0-1 pitch. Popped up again in shallow left. Ethan Gross, Adam Toth going out there. It will be Adam Toth who makes the catch for out number 2.
Killian just continues to roll. You take out those first 5 batters. Obviously you can't, but he's been really good, and I think this is the Killian we expected to see. It's more in line of what we saw those last 2 times out against YD, not what we saw on June 25th against Cotuit. That's the Killian that we saw in those first 5 batters.
His last 5 outs have either been pop-outs or long flyouts. First pitch too far outside to Hunter Cole. He flew out to right in foul territory on a catch made by Sean McMullen where he actually ran into the fence. 1-0 pitch. Checking his swing, they'll check, and the home plate umpire will say he did go.
Well, the other thing about facing Cotuit, sorry to interrupt, but they're a really aggressive team, so if the pitches are tough to hit and they're not making great contact, Killian can roll.
1-1. Ripped high and deep to left. Going back is Adam Toth. And it will bang off the wall. Cole heads for second base, and he will stop there with a 2-out double.
He claps his hands at second base. He really wanted the home run there, and I think he thought he had it. He wasn't really blazing around the base paths there. I mean, he was going to get the double either way, but who knows? Maybe he would have had a shot at a triple. He's a guy that hits a lot of balls in the air. I was watching him in batting practice. He kind of has the uppercut swing and just balls that he hits sky high, and that one did. And it just came down and kind of happened to hit the fence rather than bang directly into it.
Terry Thompson heads out for a chat with Chris Chinea and Trey Killian. It'll be Nolan Clark as Thompson makes his way back to the dugout. Nolan Clark struck out looking in the second inning from Concordia.
That double broke up a stretch of 11 in a row set down by Killian.
Yeah, he's been good since that first inning. Very good. There's the first pitch to Clark. Too low, 1-0. Killian's going to keep a very close eye on Cole at second base. Cole does have 4 stolen bases. 1-0 from Killian. Outside corner, good pitch, 1-1.
And of course, Mike Roberts, manager for Cotuit, loves to steal bases. Cotuit third in the league with 50 swipe bags coming in. Wareham entering tonight's action was last with 17.
1-1. Outside, 2-1.
When Mike Roberts coached here, he was also a guy that still at that time loved to steal bases. In 2000, he was the head coach here, and his team stole 134 bags.
2-1. That one gets away from Chinea, who will throw the mass, but headed to third is Hunter Cole. The wide turn, but won't go anywhere. Yeah, we saw just the other night. I'm trying to remember where. Today's Sunday, so it was Friday against YD. There was that ball that got away from Chinea and was all the way over by the on-deck circle, and he was looking around home plate. He had no idea where it was. 3-1 from Killian. Too far outside, ball 4. First time Nolan Clark has been on base. This one's by way of the walk. Back-to-back base runners allowed by Killian. Back to the top of the order, Danny DeKroger. Singled and scored in the first, struck out looking in the second.
Killian running into a little bit of trouble, but it's with 2 outs. So, as long as he settles down, gets that last out here against DeKroger, he can get out of this, keep it at 4 runs, which is still doable for Wareham as this game progresses.
Killian's first pitch to DeKroger is swung on, and a high fly ball to center. Going back is Sturgeon. Makes the catch for out number 3. So Trey Killian leaves a runner in scoring position with Hunter Cole at second base. Still 4-0 Kettleers here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We'll be right back. Willie Schwanke will lead things off here on the bottom of the 4th against Patrick Corbett. Still 4-0 Kettleers here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Austin Pollock alongside Mike Monaco. First pitch from Corbett is in there, a called strike. Schwanke doesn't like the call.
Yeah, and Podratz, when he ended the 3rd inning, struck out looking to end that inning. He really didn't like the call, and he's not a guy that complains about many calls, but he was pretty emphatic about it.
0-1. There's a ball low, 1-1. Yeah, well, I mean, when your team's struggling and you're not liking the call, and then when on top of the team struggling, that just adds more frustration. Corbett's 1-1 to Schwanke. Breaking ball on the inside corner for strike 2, 1-2. Yeah, this Wareham team, not really a bunch of guys who seem frustrated. Seems like they just love the game and aren't too focused with the umpires. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Patrick Corbett. 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th.
Just a lot of strikeouts tonight. Already, is that 6 by the staff as a whole between Smith and Corbett. And Wareham's a team that strikes out a good deal. And, when they run into pitchers that can get guys out by way of the K, it's just, a match made that they're going to go down swinging or looking.
Yeah, 6 through 3 1/3. First pitch to Chinea is low for ball 1, 1-1. Excuse me, 1-0. Sean McMullen waits on deck. 1-0 to Chinea. Outside corner, strike 1, 1-1.
Out-of-town scoreboard. Brewster leads Orleans 5-2 in the top of the 7th. Falmouth up on Harwich 3-0, also in the top of the 7th.
1-1. Too high, 2-1.
Bourne has a 5-1 lead on Hyannis in the bottom of the 4th at McKeon Park. And just underway, Chatham and YD at Veterans Field. That game's in the top of the 1st.
2-1 to Chinea. That one's sliced foul back to the right out of play. A defensive swing there.
That foul ball courtesy of attorney Glenn Hannington and his daughter Tavis.
2-2 the count on Chinea. 1 out. Pitch from Corbett. Too far outside, 3-2.
Chinea is typically a guy that swings in the first few pitches of the at-bat, but it's good to see him here work this pitcher, work Corbett, work the at-bat, and run the count full.
Here's the 3-2 to Chinea. Ball 4 low in the dirt. 1 out base runner here for Wareham.
Just his 2nd walk of the summer for Chinea.
I will bring up Sean McMullen, the LSU right fielder. One out and a runner on. So the infield will most likely move to double play depth. First pitch from Corbett. Low for ball one to McMullen. Patrick Corbett not missing by much with his pitches. Staying right around the strike zone, just missing. 1-0. Laced down the first base line, that will be foul. Just tailed foul.
Yeah, that thing just kept hooking. Really a shot off the bat. It looked like that one might just go straight down the line.
One the count on McMullen. Here's the pitch. High fly ball to right. Coming in is the right fielder Fincher. Going out is second baseman Ratledge. And it will be Fincher who makes the catch for out number 2.
Right after he swung that, McMullen just slams his bat down in anger. He was fooled on that pitch with the changeup from Corbett, and I think McMullen would have been locked in on it had it been a fastball, but the late drop and the speed change results in him popping that up to right field, being out in front of it.
Here is Ethan Gross, flew out to the left fielder Rhett Wiseman in the second inning. First pitch is too high at the letters, 1-0. Outside corner for strike one, 1-1. Pitch, chopper back to the mound. Nice play by Corbett. He will spin and throw on to first for out number 3. Still 4-0 Cavaliers as we head for the 5th inning here at Spillane Field on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
So far tonight, Cotuit did all its damage in that first frame. Within those first 5 batters, 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors for the Cavaliers. No runs on 3 hits, no errors for the Gatemen. Killian has given up, as we said, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, does have 3 strikeouts, and he will face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Cotuit to start off the top of the 5th. It begins with Mike Ford. Big time bat for Cotuit. He's 1 for 2 tonight, singled to left field in the first inning and grounded out to second in the second frame. Killian winds and deals the first pitch of the inning, and that's on the outside edge for strike 1. 56 pitches entering the inning for Killian. No action out in the Gateman bullpen. He has settled down nicely. The 0-1 home. The cutter just misses away. Ball and a strike to Ford. The 1-1 home. Killian pumps in the fastball for strike 2. Mike Ford from Belmead, New Jersey, listed at 6 feet, 210 pounds. Would be a senior if he goes back to Princeton. The 1-2 pitch. Outside corner, Killian just misses, wanted it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left-handed batter digs in and awaits the pitch. Here it is. Out toward left center field, in the air. Going back is Toth on the move, and he makes the run, the catch on the back pedal for out number 1 to start the 5th inning as Ford is retired. Always important to get Ford out if you can.
Well, he's a big threat for Cotuit.
Doesn't happen often. He gets on more than 50% of the time. Brings up Yale Rosen. He had an RBI single in the first inning and then went first pitch swinging in the third and popped out to Willie Schwanke. Takes the first pitch, but it misses low and away for ball 1. Rosen, a big, powerful guy. We've seen him And his home run power, also a guy that strikes out a lot, 24 Ks coming in. Here's the 1-0. Killian goes off speed and hits the outside edge for strike one. Rosen had the big 2-run single on Tuesday against Cotuit. 1-1, tapped foul to the right side. It was a 2-1 ball game that the Kettleers won on Tuesday at Lowell Park. And Rosen had that early 2-run base knock with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and hit the single to the right side. Wareham could only get 1 run and fell to the Kettleers. 1-2, swing and a miss. Killian pumps it by Rosen. Second out of the inning, and the 4th strikeout of the night for Killian.
He's been much better since that first inning. It was just a very rough first inning, and he just kind of calmed himself down. Probably talked with Terry Thompson in the dugout and just found out a way to just relax himself.
Here's Rhett Wiseman, who had a 2-run triple in that first inning and then flew out to deep center field in the 3rd. He's hit the ball well in 2 trips to the plate. First pitch is a strike called low and away to start it off to the Vanderbilt outfielder. The 0-1. Killian goes off speed and misses well outside for ball 1. Last time Cotuit played at Spillane Field, Wiseman drove in 3 runs. He already has 2 of the 4 RBIs tonight. 1-1 misses away. Only 2 base runners since that first inning for the Kettleers. 2-1 is popped up. Chinea will have a look at it, but that'll get out of play. First 5 guys all reached, then Killian set down 9 in a row, 11 in a row into the 4th inning before the double from Hunter Cole off the wall in left field, and then the next batter, Nolan Clark, drew the walk. Since then, Killian back in action. 3 in a row set down. That one is out toward left center field. Toth giving chase, and that'll get down. Rolls just short of the warning track and up to second base with a 2-out double is Rhett Wiseman, his 2nd extra base hit tonight.
Well, we talked about it before the game how Wareham was going to have to control Mike Ford. Right now it's turning into Rhett Wiseman. I mean, a triple and now a double. I mean, this guy's just pounding the ball.
And the only time he's been retired, he smoked the ball out to deep center field, and Cole Sturgeon had to make a great catch on the run. Seeing the ball well and finding the sweet spot on the bat is Rhett Wiseman. He's at second, 2 outs. Cotuit up 4-0. Drew Jackson coming to the plate, 1 for 2 tonight. Popped out to Ethan Gross his last time up to end the 3rd. Killian from the stretch bounces it in. It's a backhanded stop by Chinea. Jackson had an RBI single in the 1st inning and stole second, where he was stranded as Killian set down the next 3 in order to get out of the 1st. Killian has a look at Wiseman, now deals the 1-0. Strike 1 called. Drew Jackson will be a sophomore at Stanford. He made 24 starts there this past season, batted .207. Was drafted by the San Francisco Giants coming out of high school. The 1-1. On the ground, left side of the infield. Gross goes down to get it, throws on the move. Dug out by Podratz at first, and that retires the side. Cotuit does get a 2-out double off the bat of Rhett Wiseman, but other than that, goes quietly in the top half of the 5th inning. The score 4-0, the Kettleers lead on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Halfway home on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Cotuit leads 4-0. It'll be 9-1 and top of the order for the Gatemen against Patrick Corbett. Came on after Ben Smith went 2 2/3 of scoreless baseball before he had to leave with an injury. Fastball misses low to start it out to Adam Toth, who struck out looking in the 3rd inning.
Toth now has 11 strikeouts in his last, well, this would be his 12th game.
Squibbed foul off the end of the bat, 1-1. Patrick Corbett, 1 1/3 so far, hasn't given up a hit since coming on. Did walk Chinea in the 4th, and he has 2 strikeouts. Here comes the 1-1. Tipped into the mitt by Toth. It's strike 2. Wareham 3 hits tonight. 2 came in the third inning, 1 in the first. Trying to crack Corbett right now. Get the first runs of the night. Here's the 1-2. Misses a little too far inside to even it up at 2s. Toth on Tuesday against Katuitt was 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, and then on Friday against YD 1 for 3 and drew a walk. The 2-2 pitch popped up. Left side, that'll go foul. Count stays at 2s. Cole Sturgeon and the top of the Gateman lineup due up next. Sturgeon had that terrific bunt single in the third inning. Caught Yale Rosen by surprise over at first base. Corbett looks in, has his pitch. The 6'5 righty deals home. Popped up by Toth. He continues to stay alive.
Looking at Wiseman, he's just so far over by the left field foul line.
The center fielder Cole also shaded over, but there's still a pretty significant gap really in left field because of where Wiseman's playing.
Well, and right center too.
Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Toth goes down swinging second time he's struck out tonight, and there's 1 out to start the bottom of the 5th.
I think that's the 3rd strikeout for Corbett. He's been great.
He's come on and really picked up right where Ben Smith was going, maybe even one-upped him a bit. 7 strikeouts tonight for Katuitt pitching, and it's Cole Sturgeon's turn. He has 1 of 3 Gateman hits tonight. First pitch is low. It's a fastball that misses for ball 1. Sturgeon also in the bottom of the first inning popped out to the shortstop. 1 for 2 thus far. Here's the pitch. Hit on a rope out towards center field. Going back is Cole. He's still going back. Makes the grab while backpedaling. Sturgeon hit that one on the screws. Gave it a deep drive, but it's just out number 2.
Wareham doesn't have a problem really hitting the ball. It's just hitting it in play. I mean, they're always hitting it right at somebody. That's the biggest problem. That's why the offense is just pretty much quiet.
Still scoreless tonight, still with just those 3 hits. Brett Pirtle's turn. He has 2 of the hits, actually. Good night for him, and he returns to the left side to hit. After his first 2 at-bats came against Ben Smith, he takes strike 1. Takes that pitch. It's a ball that just misses a little up and away. Pirtle singled in the first inning, then stole second, stole third, and then hit one on the ground in the hole in the third that got through for a single. Tips that one foul for strike 2. So now 10 hits on the summer for Brett Pirtle in 9 games. Here's the 1-2. Misses away for ball 2. Patrick Corbett from Yorktown, Virginia. He'll be a junior for the Chanticleers next season. He was drafted out of high school by the KC Royals in 2011, 47th round choice. That round doesn't even exist anymore in the draft. Here comes the 2-2. Popped up. The catcher Clark gives chase. It's going right near the fence. Came down, almost hit a few fans over there. Clark gave good chase.
He actually tried to jump
he scaled the fence over there. So the count is 2-2 on Brett Pirtle. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Corbett looks in. He winds and fires. That's popped up down the left field line. Wiseman gives chase, but it'll go right near the entryway to the locker rooms.
More kids giving chase. We were somewhere the other day where we saw just a ton of kids.
It was Harwich.
That's right.
And the fans were cheering him on, too.
You remember there was a ball that I think was right next to me, and I still could have gotten that foul ball that I've been waiting for.
But the kids, they were too aggressive. They beat you to it.
It's okay.
Another 2-2 to Brett Pirtle.
It's for them, not me.
Here's the pitch from Corbett. He fouls this one off to stay alive. Good at bat here from the Mississippi State product. Just finished his junior season with the Bulldogs after going to junior college, Panola College in East Texas. Here comes the 2-2. Called strike 3. Pirtle goes down looking to end the 5th. 2 Ks in the inning for Corbett. He goes 1-2-3 to retire the Gateman. And after 5 full at Spillane Field to score. Katuitt 4, Wareham 0 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Top of the 6th here at Spillane Field, 4-0. Cavaliers. Trey Killian has calmed down since his first inning. He will face Logan Ratledge, Jake Fincher, and Hunter Cole to start the top of the 6th. First pitch, breaking ball in there for called strike 1. Logan Ratledge is 0 for 4. 2 pop-outs. 0-1 from Killian. Too far outside, 1-1. One. Too far outside again. 2-1. Sun very slowly beginning to set. 2-1. Too low. 3-1. It's not.
The lights are on now.
It's not real. I guess I should rephrase that. I don't think the sun's really starting to set, but it's getting a little darker. Maybe. The clouds are coming in. 3-1 to Ratledge. Too far inside. Ball 4, leadoff walk given up by Trey Killian. That is the second walk he has given up tonight. It'll bring up the right fielder, Jake Fincher from NC State. Struck out looking in the first and popped out to the left fielder, Adam Toth, in the 4th. Chris Chenea, the catcher, gives signs. Top of the 6th, 4-0 Kettleers. A lot of fans here. Just a great night. Catch a ball game. Killian with a check on Ratledge at first. Nothing going on.
Reminder, tomorrow Wareham is at Falmouth. I believe that's a 6:30 start time.
Pitch slap foul off to the right out of play. You completely just read my mind. I was just about to say that we'll be in Falmouth tomorrow.
Falmouth it is, Arnie Allen Diamond.
At Gov Fuller Field. It's a mouthful. Second time Gateman will visit Falmouth. Commodores have been here twice already. 0-1 pitch, showing bunt, pulls back. It's too far outside.
A reminder, you can email us, gatemanbroadcasting@gmail.com, especially later on. You can use that to let us know who you think the Wareham player of the game should be. You can also tweet at us at Wareham Gateman.
Got a lot of emails last time, I think. Pitch. Called strike on the outside corner to Fincher, 1-2. How many did we get last time? Like 3 or 4, something like that.
Good amount, though. It's starting to pick up.
1-2. Close play over at first. He's back.
Killian now up and over 80 pitches. He's thrown 81. Some guys starting to get loose out in the Wareham pen.
1-2. Looked pretty good, just a little bit too far outside. Past that outside black, 2-2. Game 26 for the Gatemen. Another close play at first. Sometimes you know it's a close play when the runner has to dive back. That's just a clue. Another close play, and now Podarats actually drops the ball.
And the two guys that are getting loose in the Gateman bullpen, Dylan Ortman and Ryan Riga.
I talked to Riga before the game. I said, we going to see tonight? He goes, I don't know. I don't think so. 2-2. 3-2. I also asked him about his pants. I said, why is there a grass stain? He said, come on, making dives out there during batting practice. 3-2 to Fincher. High chopper to short. Gross will take it. Flip to Pirtle. Pirtle will try to get Fincher at first. It won't be in time. So Ratledge is out number 1, and Fincher will reach on the 6-4 fielder's choice.
Yeah, that just wasn't hit nearly hard enough, and it was hit pretty high at Gross, and Fincher really runs well. Motored down the line. Wasn't even a close play to get to.
So here is Hunter Cole, the center fielder. Flew out to McMullen in foul territory in the first and doubled in the fourth.
Fincher worth keeping an eye on over at first base. 9 stolen bases, and he's only played in 14 games. Already has attempted 12 steals.
First pitch, a called strike on the outside of Black. It's a pretty good percentage for him, too.
Stole 14 bases this past year at NC State. Already creeping up on that here with the Kettleers.
Some dark clouds off to our left. I don't think it's rain. 0-1 pitch. Checking his swing, they'll say he went. It's called strike anyway. 0-2 to Hunter Cole, the center fielder from Georgia. 1 away, 4-0 Kettleers in the top of the 6th at Spillane Field. Austin Pollock, Mike Monaco to my left. Oh-2 pitch from Killian, runners off. It's a ball, throw down, tagged by Pirtle. He is safe. So there you go, Mike. You said you got to watch out for Fincher's speed, and he just showed it right there.
And he's got a lot of it, and got a good jump on that too, and pretty vicious dive. Belly flopped into second base.
We've seen that a lot this year. A lot of those belly flops. Seen a couple at third. 1-2 the count on Hunter Cole. Pitch from Killian. Called strike 3. Killian liked the call. It was right on the outside corner. That's the 5th strikeout for Trey Killian of the night. And there's 2 down here in the top of the 6th.
Well, Hunter Cole came in tied with the second most strikeouts in the league with 27, and just another good pitch there by Killian.
All right, well, 4-0 Kettleers on. We head for the bottom of the 6th here at Spillane Field. Let's send it down to Hillary Bushway.
Hi guys, we want to remind you to go ahead and follow our Twitter account at Wareham Gateman for all live updates throughout the game. Also go ahead and follow Wareham Gateman ATH, our Around the Horn TV show, and find out when the new episodes will be airing. Now back to our awesome broadcasters, Mike and Austin.
Thank you very much, Hillary. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th at Spillane Field. And that's why we actually missed what happened with Fincher, so we apologize. But we've been clarified. Fincher was off the base at second, and the catcher, Chinea, threw down to get Fincher. It's a 2-6 putout.
A lot of people seem to miss that one. It happened before we even thought about it. We were just focused on the strikeout. Next thing you know, Trey Killian's walking off the mound.
It's like it didn't even happen. Well, it's Tino Lipson to lead things off in the bottom of the 6th against Patrick Corbett. First pitch, a called strike. Lipson is 0 for 1, struck out in the first, walked in the third.
Corbett still hasn't allowed a hit in 2 1/3.
Pitch too far outside, 1-1. Another ball, 2-1. Looks like Brewster is really jumping out to a big lead. Is it 8-2?
8-3 over Orleans in the top of the 8th.
Just glanced over at that. 2-1 pitch to Lipson. Into left, will it fall? It will be a foul ball. Oh, it's gonna say he caught it. Wiseman made the catch in foul territory. We are blocked by, seems like everywhere we go we're blocked by something.
Nice catch over there by Wiseman. He's a guy that talked about him being aggressive on the base paths. He's also pretty aggressive as a fielder, and he was playing shallow there and just had the room to go over there and make the play. That one was falling fast just down the line, and he's over there and plenty of time to grab it.
Here is Trevor Podratz. First pitch, a breaking ball in there called strike. Danny Rosenbaum from Louisville has come out on deck. Looks like he will hit for Willie Schwanke. Pretty early for pinch hitters. Another breaking pitch out on the outside corner. Podratz doesn't like the call. Oh, 2 pitch. Slapped foul over in the first base stands. Going to the count on Podratz. 1 out, 4-0 Kettleers in the bottom of the 6th. Here comes the 0-2 from Patrick Corbett. Almost looked at a called strike 3. Pitch was low, 1-2. So we saw Ben Smith and now Patrick Corbett. 2 players from Coastal Carolina as that pitch is low and away. Briefly gets away from the catcher, Nolan Clark.
And they used to be throwing to their catcher, Will Remillard, another Coastal Carolina guy, but he recently signed with the Chicago Cubs. He had been a 19th round draft choice by the Cubbies. And then he signed last week, so he's gone from the Catuit roster.
Good old Chicago Cubs. 2-2 pitch from Corbett. Hard grounder into right field, a base hit for Trevor Podratz. Just through the gap of Yale Rosen and Logan Ratledge. 1 out base knock. There's a runner on first for the pinch hitter. It will be Danny Rosenbaum for Willie Schwanke.
Schwanke had struck out both times. He came to the plate in the 2nd inning and in the 4th inning. So Rosenbaum gets a chance to replace him.
Schwanke was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Here's the 2-2. And there a called strike.
Red Sox.
That was the first pitch. 0-1. Dan Dias forgot to reset the scoreboard.
Red Sox game went final in 11 innings. The A's won 3-2.
Lace down the left field line, that will be foul.
It was the major league debut for former Wareham Gateman Brandon Workman. He went 6 1/3, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, walked a batter, and had 5 strikeouts and carried a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Pretty good first day in the bigs. First start in the bigs. 2nd appearance overall for Workman.
0-2. Foul back. Still 0-2. Outfield straight away. Center fielder Hunter Cole playing just a little bit shallow. 0-2 to Rosenbaum. Staying alive. Fouls that one back. And to the right. Chris Chinea, the catcher, waits on deck.
We saw Rosenbaum put together a few good at-bats recently where he does this. Fouls off a lot of pitches. He's doing it again right now.
Third baseman DeKroger's playing in on the grass. Maybe expecting a sacrifice bunt of some sort. But I don't think that will be the case. Count is 0-2. Pitch too far outside, 1-2.
Wednesday night against Harwich, Danny Rosenbaum in the 4th inning had a nice 10-pitch at-bat. He just kept fouling things off and then flew out to right field. But he's just doing it again right here, working the count. Not many Wareham hitters do that.
1-2. Way outside. 2-2. Hey, Danny Rosenbaum's a good young player. It's just taking him a little bit of time to really get in the hang of things. He's got a bright future. 2-2 from Corbett. Staying alive again is Rosenbaum.
She continues to make Corbett work. That was the first hit the right-hander surrendered when Podrats got that single through the right side. Now Rosenbaum just continued to make him work. Corbett up right around 55, 56 pitches now.
Yeah, I don't know how many pitches he's at in this at-bat to Rosenbaum, but 2-2. Now when bangs off the catcher Clark, he's going to have to go back, but Podrats will advance up to second base. Count will run full, 3-2.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat to Rosenbaum.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You are more than welcome. Just had to go through and count them up. Took a while.
Yeah, you've got the
Good.
laptop over there. You got the benefit. I'm a little more old-fashioned. I print everything out. Some might say I'm not eco-friendly. 3-2 from Corbett. Up and grounder to shortstop. It's a hard one. Throwing on to first is Jackson for out number 2, but moving up to third base is Trevor Podrats. I thought when that one came off the bat, I thought it was actually going to get just past the glove of Jackson into center field.
Yeah, it was hit hard, but pretty much right at Jackson, and he could just gobble that one up and throw it over to first.
So 2 outs here is Chinea. He's been on once in the 4th. He had a walk, and he struck out in the 2nd. 2 outs, runner on 3rd is Podrats. 4-0 Kettleers. Pitch from Corbett. First pitch swing, hard. Grounder to short. Jackson scooped by Rosen, and it'll get away. Podrats will score, so it's now 4-1 Kettleers, but moving up to second base. And maybe thinking about 3 was Chinea. He stops, and we'll go back to second. Have to wait the official scoring on that one, but it'll probably be...
Oh, that's an error on Jackson. Just a terrible throw there. He didn't need to rush it. That ball wasn't hit hard at all. And Chinea doesn't move that well, and he just comes up and throws it pretty hard and just right by Rosen. Tried to pick it, but he couldn't. I mean, I thought he had plenty of time to make that play. It was just, next thing you know, Wareham scores. If you're Cooper Ferris, you will take the run any way you can.
So now 4-1 Kettleers. Here is McMullen. Walked in the 2nd and flew out to right in the 4th. Into center field coming over is Cole. Moved to his right, made the catch for out number 3. Wareham gets 1. It's 4-1 Kettleers on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network through 6 at Spillane Field. A run in the bottom of the 6th for the Gateman. First pitch goes just behind Nolan Clark, over his head.
Since the first inning, just 2 walks surrendered by Killian and 2 doubles given up. One of those to Hunter Cole, the other to Rhett Wiseman.
1-0 outside corner, 1-1. .752 in the top of the 7th inning. Low and away, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Tough call. 3-1. Ball 4. Pitch was low and away. That's the second walk that Nolan Clark has earned, as Terry Thompson will make his way out of the dugout.
My guess is this will do it for Killian. 3 walks. There's been some action in the bullpen for a few innings now.
Yeah, we were just showing Dylan Ortman on your screen before we came back. Ortman's not making his way toward the steps, or the hill, or whatever you want to call it out there. I don't think there's really steps to go up to that bullpen. It's more like a little bump. Terry Thompson will head back to the dugout, so that is not it.
That's why I'm up here.
That is not it for Trey Killian. Gershner will give the signs. (4-1) Katuitt here in the top of the 7th at Spillane Field. Showing bunt was Danny DeKroger. Can't pull it back in time. It's 0-1. DeKroger singled and scored in the first, struck out in the second, and popped out to center in the fourth. A 1 pitch, runners off. That will get through into left field, a base hit just through the gap between Rosenbaum and Gross.
Perfect hitting there from Danny DeKroger. The hit and run is on. The shortstop Gross moves over to cover the bag as Clark's moving up. And DeKroger, all he had to do was reach out and flip it over right in between, or really not in between anyone, right where Ethan Gross would have been.
So DeKroger on first with a single, Nolan Clark on second after the walk. And here is Mike Ford. Dangerous guy at the plate with runners in scoring position. First pitch is a called strike. And there's no outs. One swing of the bat and he could make this even a bigger lead for the Kettleers. Already a 3-run lead. Pitch from Killian showing he's bunt and fouls it all the way back right by us. So if you put aside the 4-run inning for Killian in the first, he's pitched pretty well. But same story, Wareham offense just can't get anything going, just the 1 run.
Well, and then you couple that with the big inning, and it just feels like classic Wareham.
0-2-4, that one's popped up, sky high, and should go foul. It will. Count remains 0-2, we'll do it again.
Killian at 98 pitches hasn't even really approached 90 or 100 since his first start of the summer against Falmouth.
Too far inside, 1-2.
In that ball game, Killian threw 108 pitches, 77 his last time out. Then he's been in the 60s and 50s other than that. He's getting back to getting stretched out today.
1-2, the count on Ford. Here it comes. Into left center, going back is Gross, coming in is Toth. That will be Toth who makes the catch. They'll try to get Clark at second. They can't. Ball rolls all the way to first. Podrats has it. But it's out number 1. No movement for any of the runners on.
Nice running play made there by Toth in left field. That one was just hit off the end of the bat by Ford. Looked like it might get down, but Toth came on, made a really nice running play. Tried to double up the runner at second and Clark, but just not enough space for that.
The Harwich Mariners have an 8-3 lead over the Falmouth Commodores in the bottom of the 9th. Bourne beat Hyannis 5-2 in 6 innings. Outside 1-0, an hour and 56 minutes.
Bourne now 12-13, continuing to try to distance themselves from the Gatemen.
Must have been called because of the rain. Pitch is low to Yale Rosen, 2-0.
Sounds like the rain in Hyannis prevented that one from going any longer.
Again, they didn't even play last night. That was against Wareham. 2-0 to Rosen, swinging a high cut. 2-1. Yale Rosen from Washington State. To shortstop. Gross flips it to Pirtle. They'll go on to first. Scoop by Podrats, but he can. It'll get behind him. It will be Nolan Clark who scores the 5th run of the night for the Kettleers, now 5-1. DeKroger was out At second, he was out number 2, but Rosen will reach. Will most likely be the error by Brett Pirtle.
Yeah, it's just what we saw last time in the bottom of the 6th when Wareham got the run. You can't get the pick at first, and then the run comes home to score. In that case, it was Podratz right there. Clark comes across, and it's back to a 4-run lead.
Here's Rhett Wiseman. First pitch swing. Took his head out of the swing, 0-1. They always tell you, keep your head in the game. Wiseman just couldn't keep his eye on the ball there. Play umpire will call time. Our excellent producer, Warren Randog Randolph, has entered the booth. How you doing, Warren?
Great.
He's doing great. 0-1. High and away, 1-1. Are you enjoying the game, Warren? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 1-1. Here's the pitch from Killian. Outside, 2-1.
No error charge to Pirtle on the throw, so it's a fielder's choice as Rosen reaches.
That one surprises me a little bit. Thought it would have been an error on Pirtle. Swing and a miss by Wiseman, 2-2. Call it strike 3. 6th strikeout of the night for Trey Killian. Gets Wiseman looking. 7th inning stretch time here at Spillane Field on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. 5-1 Katuitt. We'll be right back. Lead off the bottom of the 7th there at Spillane Field. 5-1 Kettleers. Patrick Corbett still out there. It'll be Gross, Toth, and Sturgeon. That is 8, 9, and 1. First pitch to Gross, grounder past the glove of Rosen and into right field. Ratledge went out there as well, got under his glove. So Ethan Gross has a single to get things going here in the 7th.
That's what Gross was working on in batting practice earlier, just going the other way, and Ron Polk was actually just telling him, that's all you need to do to get more base hits is just flick the hands and go into the 4-hole, meaning at second base with it, and you'll get a lot of base hits.
Cole Stansel will pinch hit for Adam Toth here in the 7th. As Mike Roberts will make a change to the bullpen. He is signaled down there. That'll be it for Patrick Corbett. As the infield gathers on the mound. We'll have information on the new pitcher for you when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. New pitcher for the Kettleers, it is Alex Haynes from Seton Hill. 0-1 with a 3.06 earned run average. He's appeared in 5 games. He's actually started 5 games. 17 2/3 innings pitched. First pitch is high to Cole Stansel. He's pinch hitting for Adam Toth. He's given up 16 hits, 6 earned runs, 8 walks, and 23 strikeouts. He's a guy who will strike you out. He's a lefty. First pitch swing. Stansel fouls that one back.
Haynes from Seton Hill, as you said, which is a Division II school in Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh. And he was drafted in the 33rd round by the Colorado Rockies this past June.
1-1 to Stansel. Fouls that one straight back, 1-2.
But the deadline came and went for him to sign with the Rockies, so he will be going back to Seton Hill for his senior season.
You know, I hate to say it, I've never heard of Seton Hill.
I'd never heard of it before.
But I've heard of Seton Hall.
That's probably an easy confusion to make there.
1-2, pitch is high, 2-2.
Haynes 6'4", 215. Made 13 starts, as we were saying. 4 of those were complete games.
Two and two, the count to Cole Stansel. Runners off, pitch high, throw down, tag, out. Ethan Gross caught stealing for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
So fifth time Gross has been caught stealing. A few of those have been pickoffs, and that 5 mark leads the league. Just sometimes it's been the hit and run, and the hit doesn't go through, and sometimes it's just been pickoffs. But they've ran into a lot of outs, Wareham as a team.
He also doesn't really have like blazing speed. Pitch to Stansel, that one's fouled back. Count will stay 3 and 2.
Yeah, the majority of the time it has been on failed pickoff attempts where he's going on the first move from a left-hander or the hit and run. I know that there was one particular time I'm thinking of where Adam Toth just couldn't hit the pitch that was thrown to him. He did swing, he didn't miss the sign on the hit and run, and then Gross got gunned out at second.
3-2 to Stansel. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for Alex Haynes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
So that also, the caught stealing closes the book officially on Patrick Corbett. He went 3 1/3, 2 hits, a run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Did a really nice job coming in for Ben Smith. He threw 61 pitches, 40 of which were strikes.
So here is Cole Sturgeon. He is 1 for 3. First pitch is at the letters, high, 1-0. Popped out to short in the first. Singled. It was a bunt single in the third, and then he was caught stealing third. And then he flew out to center in the 5th. 1-0. In the dirt, stopped by Clark. 2-0. Brett Pirtle waits on deck. To Sturgeon. Slap foul straight back. 2-1.
It's been tough for the Gatemen to get anything going tonight. They do have 5 hits, and they've reached 3 times on walks, but just never can get those in quick succession and to mount any sort of big inning to get something going.
Wareham already 0-4 against the Kettleers this season. 2-1 is the count on Sturgeon. Here it comes. Breaking ball. Low and in. Ball 3. 3-1. Base is empty. Wiseman again close to the left field foul line. Not as close as he was before. At the letter, Sturgeon does not like the call. 3-2. Another big gap out there in left center. Same for right center. Haynes with the look in, has his pitch. Here comes the 3-2 to Sturgeon. Staying alive, fouls that one back.
A new sound effect being played by the over the PA system here. Shattered glass sound. That wasn't actual shattered glass.
3-2. That one will be almost up the middle for a base hit. It will be a base hit. It popped in and out of the glove of Ratledge, who went a long way to his right to make the play. He dove for it, went in and out of his glove. It'll be a hit for Cole Sturgeon.
Really good bid there by Ratledge, just couldn't get to it. It was hit kind of softly with some backspin, and Sturgeon has plenty of speed to get there to first, even if Ratledge had fielded that one cleanly.
Great effort over at second base by Ratledge, no question about it.
Second hit of the night for Sturgeon. Another guy with multiple hits, Brett Pirtle.
And here is Brett Pirtle. Pair of singles, pair of stolen bases, and struck out in the 5th. Pitch from Haynes. A little high, 1-0. Again, as always, another reminder, nominated player of the game, send us an email at gatemanbroadcasting@gmail.com or shoot us a tweet at Wareham Gateman. 1-0. Low, 2-0 to Pirtle.
Pirtle back to the right side here against the lefty Haynes. First 2 at-bats, Pirtle got 2 singles against Ben Smith, another left-hander, and then batted righty against Patrick Corbett and struck out looking in the 5th.
2-0 pitch from Haynes. That one is going to be foul, just past the dive of Yale Rosen. Almost reeled it in.
And Daryl Maxwell thinks that one was a fair ball. First base coach for the Gatemen is over there talking to Federico DeJesus, and Cooper Ferris thought it was fair as well. I actually thought it was too, but the ump DeJesus was jumping out of the way when that ball landed, and I'm not sure he got the best look at that.
You know, Cooper Ferris clearly disagrees. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think you are absolutely right. Well, Cooper Ferris will make his way back to his third base coaching box. Count is 2-1 with 2 outs. Sturgeon on first. He singled in very, very shallow center field, behind the second base bag. Second baseman Logan Ratledge made a dive for it, and the ball popped in and out of his glove. So he is at first. And here's the 2-1 to Pirtle. It's out. It's on the outside corner, 2-2. Tino Lipson waits on deck. He does not have a hit tonight. 2-2 to Pirtle. Slap foul over by the first base stands. (5-1) Katuitt here in the bottom of the 7th at Spillane Field. 2-2 from Haynes. To third on the backhand is DeKroger. Falls down, throws to first. And that will retire Brett Pirtle. Still 5-1 Katuitt. That's 3 outs, and we are through 7 here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We'll be right back with the 8th inning. I'm confident.
All right, top of the 8th inning coming up. Drew Jackson, the number 5 hitter. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Had an RBI single in the first inning. Popped out to shortstop and then grounded out to Gross at short. Spencer Turnbull on the hill in relief of Killian. His first pitch is grooved in there for strike 1. We are back underway at 8:58.
Was that a half-hour rain delay? About 40 minutes, something like that?
Yeah, right around there. I don't know the exact time where we stopped. We were kind of scrambling at the time. Here's the 0-1 from Turnbull. Misses low for ball 1. Turnbull, 6'3", 220 pounds, from Madison, Mississippi. He'll be a junior at Alabama next season. He's a weekend starter for the Crimson Tide this past year. His 1-1. Jackson tried to check his swing. He did. It's ball too low. Turnbull throws a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seam fastball, both in the low 90s. A slider in the low 80s, as is his changeup. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, tipped into the mitt of Chinea for strike 2.
Pretty empty Spillane Field now.
Yeah, people got out of here quickly once the rain started pouring down. A couple of faithful fans sticking around. 2-2 the count on Jackson. Turnbull, the big right-hander, looks in. He winds and deals. Line drive right at Pirtle at second. It's a quick out to start things in the top of the 8th. 1 away. That brings up the 6-hitter Logan Ratledge. He reached on a walk in the 6th inning and then was gunned down at second for the first out of that inning. Also popped out to Brett Pirtle in shallow right field in the 4th and popped foul to Podratz in the 1st inning. Turnbull fires home the first pitch. It's a strike with the fastball to Ratledge. 5-1 the score. The 0-1 pitch is bounced in. Weather also playing a factor in the Bourne Hyannis game we spoke about earlier. That one called after just 6 innings. Hyannis, a field that always struggles if they do get rain, and they got a lot tonight. 1-1 is fouled back. It hit Ratledge's bat twice. Came around on the back end to hit it, and then it went over to the right side, back toward the screen. 5-2, Bourne won that game, so the Braves improved to 12-13. Wareham looking to keep pace tonight and eventually to close the gap with the Braves. Wareham at 5-20, Cotuit at 16-10 in the Western Division. Turnbull rocks and fires the 1-2, misses low to even it up at 2s. Harwich beat Falmouth 8-3. Brewster beat Orleans 11-3. Chatham is up 7-5 over YD in the top of the 7th. Only other game in progress. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Turnbull can't snap it off, so the count runs full.
Well, Turnbull's throwing the ball really well. You can just see the dust and the dirt popping from the glove of Chenea's glove. That's how you know that he's throwing the ball well in terms of speed.
Here comes the payoff pitch. On the ground, up the middle. Gross ranging to his left, makes the play. The throw over is in time for out number 2.
Nice play.
Good looking play from Ethan Gross. Had to go a pretty long way up behind the second base bag to field it, and there's 2 away in the inning.
Well, I thought that was going to go into center field, but Gross went a long way. I'm also interested to see how the ball kind of rolls around here on this, I guess you could call it the wet infield.
So 2 away, Jake Fincher steps in. 4th time he's come to the plate tonight. Struck out in the 1st, popped out to left field in the 4th inning, and then reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. Stole second base. He digs in. First pitch of the at-bat is upstairs for ball 1. "5-1 the score. Cotuit looking for win number 5 over the Gatemen this summer. Turnbull misses low for ball 2. Wareham plays tomorrow against Falmouth, traveling for the 2nd time to Arnie Allen Diamond.
At Gov Fuller Field.
The 2-0 pitch. High chopper to Gross at short. He fields it. Strong throw to first. Is it in time? It is. Gross beats the speedy Fincher, who was running well down the first base line. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Spencer Turnbull. We will head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cotuit 5, Wareham 1. We are back to baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Tino Lipson will start it off. Takes the first pitch outside corner, called strike 1. Lipson struck out in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, and fouled out to left field his 3rd time up. This one on the ground, right side of the infield. Ratledge has it and tosses it over to Yale Rosen, 1 away.
Well, that might be it for Lipson in terms of at-bats, and I think it will be. That's just looking at numbers, but that could end that, what is it, a 12-game hitting streak ending tonight? That could snap that.
Hit in all 12 of the games he's played in this summer. That streak now certainly in jeopardy. Trevor Podratz, the next man stepping to the plate. 1 away, bottom of the 8th. Podratz in the 6th inning, his last time up, singled, advanced on a wild pitch, and scored the only run of the night for the Gatemen. Miller, the right-hander, fires home. The sidearm pitcher finds the strike zone for strike 1.
So now this rain is causing a little bit of trouble because I usually look through this big piece of plexiglass right in front of me, and it's just dots, raindrops.
Podratz hits the breaking ball to the 3rd baseman, DeKroger, up with it, and on to Rosen, quickly 2 away in the home half of the 8th.
Nice double clutch there by DeKroger.
Brian Miller has pitched 17 2/3 innings, given up 6 earned runs. He has 18 strikeouts. We saw him pitch on Tuesday against the Gatemen. Came in, got the save in that ball game in a pretty high-pressure situation. Pitched an inning and a 1/3, no hits, no walks. Had 2 strikeouts in the 4 batters he faced and retired. That's ball 1, too far outside to Danny Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning for Willie Schwanke as he takes strike 1. He grounded to the shortstop. Jackson got the runner over in Podratz to 3rd. This one floated out, up and over Logan Ratledge, the 2nd baseman. It's a 2-out single for Danny Rosenbaum.
That's the first hit of the night from that number 5 spot. Schwanke was 0 for 2. Now Rosenbaum 1 for 2.
Little bloop single there with 2 outs to get the job done, get somebody on base. Chris Chinea, the new batter for the Gatemen. 7th hit of the night for Wareham. And it's now Chinea's turn. He's 0 for 2, walked in the 4th inning and reached on the error in the 6th. That scored a run as the throw from Drew Jackson was too low. Rosen couldn't pick it at first. Podrat scored. So far, that's all Wareham has been able to muster against the Kettleers. Chinea digs in. Here's the first pitch. He swings high, chopper foul over by the Wareham dugout. Chinea digs back in, taps his bat on the plate. Miller fires from the stretch. Chinea fouls it off himself. He'll be down in an 0-2 hole.
Miller's delivery kind of reminds me of Dennis Eckersley's a little bit.
Yeah, and he's got a similar build. Tall guy, a little lanky.
Good pitcher. As was Eck.
Miller had a great season at Vanderbilt this past year as a sophomore. 16 saves for the Commodores, a 1.58 ERA, and 5 wins in 57 innings, 48 strikeouts to just 11 walks. 0-2 the count right now on Chris Chinea. 2 outs. The runner at first, Danny Rosenbaum. Miller looks in, holds the ball in between his legs, now comes set, and fires. Slider that breaks too far outside. First ball to Chinea. Wareham at Falmouth, as we were saying, that's a 6:30 start time. Then back home on Tuesday night at 7. 1-2, fouled back to the right. On Tuesday, Wareham will be hosting Brewster. On Wednesday, Wareham has the makeup game against Bourne that was supposed to be played last night but got rained out. That's a 6 o'clock start at Doran Park. And Thursday and Friday are also home games. The 1-2 pitch. Slider that just misses the inside corner. That one started like it was going to hit Chinea in the hip. Came all the way back in, almost nailed the inner black.
The season going by very quickly.
2-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Miller. That one goes all the way to the backstop. Rosenbaum will move up to second base. And a runner in scoring position for Chris Chinea.
These guys are going to go through a lot of balls now because any ball that touches the grass is going to be wet and they're not going to want it.
Not fun throwing a waterlogged baseball. Heavy and just tough to throw.
It is, yeah.
Full count now on Chinea. Rosenbaum a healthy lead at second. Here's the pitch. Inside it misses low. Chinea draws the walk with 2 outs. Sean McMullen has 2 runners aboard now, stepping to the plate.
He's 0 for 2. Walked in the 2nd. Flew out to right in the 4th. Flew out to center in the 6th.
McMullen, the number 7 hitter, left-handed batter from LSU. Ethan Gross would be next for the Gatemen. Trying to get something going against Brian Miller, a shutdown reliever. First pitch, fastball. Outside for strike 1, nails the corner. Chinea at first, Rosenbaum at second. 7 hits tonight for the Gatemen. That one comes too far inside, 1-1. Katuitt just has 8 hits, but they capitalized in the first inning. 5 straight hits to start the ball game, and 4 of those runners, the first 4 hits, all came across to score. Miller's 1-1. Laced out to right field. That one will get down over the second baseman's head. Rosenbaum is coming in, and he will score. The throw to third now sails into left field. It gets past the left fielder now, and Chinea will come home to score. McMullen moves up to third base. An incredible play there, and Wareham has cut this lead in half. The score is 5-3. McMullen floated the single to right field. It just got over Logan Ratlich's outstretched glove. He leapt and tried to make the grab, couldn't. So Rosenbaum was going to score. The throw did come into the catcher Clark up the line. and then he tried to gun down Chinea, who was trying to make it to third. But Clark sailed the throw into left field. Then that ball skipped past Wiseman, the left fielder. So Chinea could come home to score, and it's now 5-3. Ethan Gross, the batter. Out to right field. This one tailing away from Fincher, but he makes the grab. What a catch by Jake Fincher to save a run. Wareham gets 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning, trying to claw its way back. And they cut the lead in half. It's a good first step. We will head to the 9th inning. Cotuit 5, Wareham 3 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Wareham shows some fight in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Gatemen get 2 runs, thanks in part to a Cotuit error. The score now 5-3. The Kettleers are leading, but Wareham is now really trying to make this one interesting as we head to the 9th inning. 2 runs on 2 hits and an error. A man left on base for the Gatemen. Hunter Cole leads off the inning. A long drive down the right field line going foul. McMullen gives chase, but it clangs off the fencing. He couldn't get to it. It's strike 1. Turnbull back out, 2nd inning of relief work. Set him down 1-2-3 in the 8th inning. Got a line out to second base, and then a pair of ground outs to Ethan Gross at short. Hunter Cole, the number 8 hitter, had a double way back in the 4th inning and then struck out most recently looking in the 6th. Here comes the 0-1. Inside, and it misses for ball 1. 14 pitches in the 8th inning for Turnbull. Looking for another clean inning on the hill. No action in the Gateman pen. 1-1 the count to the leadoff man, Cole. Fouled off to the right side. The count will be 1-2. Wareham trying to sneak back into this ball game. The rain delay, or I guess the weather delay, and then the next thing you know, they get 2 runs. Kind of on a fluke play in the 8th inning, and just a 2-run ball game.
2 lucky runs.
They'll take him any way they can get him. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball. Turnbull does not get the call. 2-2.
I'm watching Cotuit broadcaster Craig Miraz in the last row of those bleachers behind the Wareham dugout doing the broadcast on a cell phone.
Pretty remarkable stuff. The weather is not nice to away broadcasters in this league.
No, it is not. Wasn't good to us last night.
2-2 fouled off. Well, luckily we weren't in the middle of the game, and then it starts downpouring on us, and we had to wait it out during that.
It was
while the game was still going, because sometimes they
bad.
play through the pouring rain for a while. The 2-2 from Turnbull. Misses low, running the count full to Hunter Cole. So Wareham benefits from the throwing error by Nolan Clark, the catcher, to get an extra run. The 3-2 laced into left center field. 2nd hit of the day for Hunter Cole. And he's aboard to lead off the inning for the Kettleers. And as I was saying, Wareham, they get the 1 unearned run last inning, and they also benefited from some Cotuit defensive mishaps in the 6th inning. Ball hit by Chris Chinea to the shortstop, Drew Jackson. If he had thrown out Chinea at first, it would have ended the inning. Instead, the throw gets away. A low throw, Podrat scored. So 2 out of the 3 runs tonight have been unearned. Now it is the number 9 man, Nolan Clark. Squares the bunt, but it's a ball up high. Hunter Cole at first, also an aggressive man. We've seen him rounding the bases and getting some pretty generous looks at going to second on a few of his base hits. The 1-0 pitch, Clark squares again, but it's ball 2. Hunter Cole 4 for 5, swiping bags this summer. He's at first. Podrat's holding him there. Nolan Clark, the batter, he walked and scored in the 7th inning. Squares at that one, pulls it back. It's called the ball. Turnbull thought he had pumped in strike 1. Clark also walked in the 4th inning, maybe getting his 3rd free pass right now, top of the 9th. Count 3-0. Turnbull sets at the waist and deals. That is strike 1. Clark still squaring in this situation. Rosenbaum in on the grass a few steps at third. Middle infield at double play depth. Podratz holding the runner Cole at first. The 3-1 offering. Clark lays it down first base side. Turnbull off the bump. He underhands the flip over to Pirtle, who was covering. 1 out recorded by the gateman. Cole moves up to second base as Clark does his job. The sac bunt moves up the runner 1 away. Back to the top of the lineup. Danny DeKroger singled to left center on the hit and run in the 7th inning. He was then caught stealing for the 2nd out of that inning. Also singled way back in the first batter of this ball game. In the top of the 1st, he scored after singling out to left field. Good day for Danny DeKroger atop the Cotuit lineup. 2 for 4 and a run scored. 7 Kettleers have hits in this one. Turnbull looks at Cole, who has a significant lead. Now comes home, misses low for ball 1. Four pitchers used for the Kettleers, 2 so far for Wareham. One-0 the count on DeKroger. Turnbull taking plenty of time looking at Cole. Now the pitch. DeKroger thought about it but held off, so it's 2-0. 1 out in the inning after the sacrifice bunt. Turnbull had a very clean 1-2-3 frame in the 8th. 5-3 your score. Mike Ford would be next for the Kettleers. Here's the 2-0. Turnbull misses high, ball 3. Back-to-back batters now, where the big right-hander has started off 3-0. The outfield is shaded toward left. Sturgeon pretty significantly over. The 3-0 is in there for strike 1. Turnbull trying to work his way back. Crowd cleared out of this place very quickly. Still a good chunk of people on hand, though, to see it. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Turnbull deals home the 3-1. High chopper gets over Turnbull. Pirtle backpedals, now throws over to first. 2 away as DeKroger is retired on the high chopped ball to Brett Pirtle. Moving up to third base was Hunter Cole. So there's a runner in scoring position for Mike Ford, a bat that's been held fairly quiet tonight by Wareham. Came in as probably the hottest hitter in the league, had 2 home runs and 5 RBIs yesterday against Hyannis. He has a pair of flyouts to left field in this one, a ground out to second, and in his first at-bat, he singled and scored in the 1st. Ford, the left-handed batter, against Turnbull, who goes from the windup. First pitch fouled off to the left side. Wareham got 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Will come to bat in the bottom of the 9th. Hoping this one's still a 2-run game. The pitch to Ford misses away, ball 1. Ford trying to extend the Cotuit lead. Due up for the Gateman in the bottom of the 9th. It'll be 9-1 and top. Or 9-1 and 2, rather. Here's the 1-1 from Turnbull. That misses high, 2-1. The right-hander struggling with his command a bit in his 2nd inning of relief work.
Well, we've seen him struggle with his command a lot this season, whether it was in a starter or out of the bullpen.
Still trying to find his way. This his 4th appearance of the summer. The 2-1 popped up down the left field side. Rosenbaum goes back and makes the catch. He fell all the way down, but put it away for the 3rd out, and Mike Ford retired again. Tough thing to do, but they get the Princeton slugger in the top of the 9th inning. Strand the runner at 3rd as Turnbull gets out of it. The score 5-3 in favor of Cotuit. We're heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. Wareham will look to mount a last-ditch effort Coming back in this one on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Lead off against Brian Miller, bottom of the ninth. Wareham trails by 2, trying to come back and get the win here at Spillane Field. First pitch swinging, Stancil taps it foul off his back, strike 1. Stancil came on in the bottom of the 7th as a pinch hitter for Adam Toth, who had struck out twice. Then Stancil struck out swinging in the 7th. He will be followed by Cole Sturgeon and Brett Pirtle. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Misses low and away. Brian Miller came on in the 8th inning. Gave up the 2 runs. Only 1 was earned. That one's fouled back to the screen, 1-2. So it's a 1-2 count on Stancil. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Stancil was fooled, but he did tap it foul to stay alive. 18-pitch, 8th inning for Brian Miller. Working through this at-bat now against Stancil. Here comes the 1-2. Stancil fouls this one now to the first base side over by the Cotuit dugout.
Greg Maras still broadcasting from a cell phone. Talk about some dedication.
I don't even know how the technology works with that. 1-2, and Stancil fans at that one. Great breaking ball from Miller for the first out of the inning.
Well, they use a different. We use what? Ustream. They use something else where I think there's a feature where you can call in.
Team line.
Yeah, team line. Or you can actually call from like my phone, and I can listen to their broadcast. I haven't actually tried it, but I'm going to one day.
Pretty interesting stuff. 1 away, and Cole Sturgeon, the leadoff man, comes to the plate. Takes strike 1 on the inner half.
When you visit Cotuit at Lowell Park, they wear badges with that phone number on it.
Breaking ball in there for strike 2 to Sturgeon. Cole, one of 2 players in the Wareham lineup with multiple hits, the other being the on-deck man, Brett Pirtle. 0-2 the count, 1 out, bottom of the 9th. Here's the pitch. Misses a little outside and low for ball 1. Sturgeon had a fantastic bunt single in the 3rd inning, and then another infield single up the middle in the 7th. The 1-2. Chopped weakly to the right side of the infield. Ratledge charges. Tosses over to Rosen, 2 away. Wareham down to its last out. It's up to Brett Pirtle. Had singles in each of his first 2 at-bats, then struck out looking in the 5th, grounded out to 3rd base in the 7th.
He's just been one of the guys for Wareham that continues to just be consistent.
Facing Brian Miller, so he's batting from the left side. Takes ball 1 well off the edge.
Not a lot of consistent bats, but he's one of them.
The 1-0 does nail the outside corner. Strike 1 grooved in there by Brian Miller. 4th pitcher of the night. Alex Haynes had a scoreless inning most recently. The 1-1 line drive up the middle. 3rd hit of the night for Brett Pirtle. And with 2 outs, the Gatemen have a runner aboard, trying to stir something here in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, Pirtle's making a good bid to be the player of the game. He's now 3 singles, 2 stolen bases, 3 for 5. It's a pretty good game.
Good day at the plate for the Mississippi State second baseman. It's now Tino Lipson's turn. Wareham still down to that last out, but the tying run coming to the plate in Lipson. Lipson 0 for 3 tonight. Also walked in the 3rd inning. Miller from the stretch fires home. Ground ball to shortstop. Up with it is Jackson. He will just flip that one to second. That does it here at Spillane Field. The final score, Cotuit 5, Wareham 3. Brian Miller gives up the single to Brett Pirtle here in the 9th, but then gets Lipson to ground out to shortstop to end it. There's a rain delay, and 3.5 hours later, this one is done. Once again, the final score, Cotuit 5, Wareham 3. We'll be back in just a few moments with an abbreviated Wareham Wrap postgame show, so don't go anywhere. All right, back here on the Wareham Wrap postgame show. Due to the weather delay from earlier, we will have a little change in plans. We're going to get you the quick show right now, and then we're going to have to go out on our own and get those interviews with manager Cooper Ferris and then our player of the game. We will post those to our website, gateman.org. Whenever you read a recap story, you can also listen to those post-game interviews at the bottom of the page underneath the story. And we also post stuff to our SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com, and then search for Wareham Gateman for our account. Well, right now, the final score, Cotuit 5, Wareham 3. 9 hits aside, 2 errors for the Kettleers, 1 for the Gatemen. And Austin, what's your initial takeaway from this game?
The offense continues to struggle. You got to give, I think you have to give credit to Trey Killian. Aside from that first inning, he was very good. I give him credit for that. He calmed himself down. He pitched well after that. And that's really about it. The relief pitching was okay. I mean, the 1 run, and aside from that, it was pretty good. Again, I think you remember how we're looking at a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how when the pitching's bad, the hitting's good, or whatever it was. Right now, it's just the hitting's not there. The hitting is not good at all.
And then another story that came back tonight, another storyline that is the big inning. Not even the first inning. Tonight it happened to come in the first inning. 4 runs for Cotuit. And from there, Wareham really couldn't respond.
No, you're absolutely right. It's just the offense is just dead right now, and time's running out. I don't know what else they can really do. I mean, I don't know what they're doing differently. I don't see many things that they're doing differently.
So tomorrow night, as we wrap things up here, we've got a little change in plans tonight because of the weather from before. So like we just said, we're going to have to go get the interviews on our own. So we will try to wrap things up right now. Wareham back in action tomorrow night at Falmouth. 6:30 start time. Join us at about 6:15 for the pregame show from Arnie Allen Diamond. And we will bring you that game. And right now, that'll close things up here. And for Austin, Warren, Hillary, and the rest of our video interns, I'm Mike Monaco saying thanks for joining us and so long from Spillane Field.